Mr. Swamy, welcome to the show and thanks for being with us here on ET Now. First off, how do you read into it? You've been saying that it's on expected lines clearly, but it's come through and 7 telecom companies seeing their plea dismissed is a big blow for India's image and people's interest in doing business with India.
Oh no, it's a big boost for India's image. We have a functioning court system. We are not a banana republic that businessmen can engage into a cartel with politicians and decide what they want to do. And therefore, I don't think that I don't think that this is a blow for India at all, and it's just to be expected. After all, let us say that some of the informal payments that they have made, I'll use a diplomatic word, that has ruined our reputation much more than anything else. We've got to clean up corruption in our country, and this is a big step forward.
But Mr. Swamy, you will admit yourself that not all the 7 companies that have lost their licenses were guilty of corruption. More importantly, this could now open the door for a whole host of litigation. It's quite certain that some of these foreign companies will invoke bilateral treaties. Third-party companies could now, challenge the government to claim damages. There's no end to this, to the mess that's going to now start. Don't you think so?
Well, I think they should sue the government. I'm sure of that. I think they ought to. I'll encourage them to. But the fact is that the people are the beneficiaries in this, and such things should not happen in the future. Business companies come from all over the world when they smell profit, and they are not too bothered about whether the court license or two. So I don't think this has got anything to do with the investment climate and all that people are mentioning. It's a salute. The court has, and I think these companies who have lost their licenses should find their own equilibrium.
But what about consumers, Mr. Swamy? Because a lot of these companies have millions of consumers. A company like Unionor, for instance, adds about 2 million customers on an average. The consumer will feel shortchanged because for no fault of his, he's going to have to forcibly shift to another operator. There are several other interests, vendors who've done business with these companies, a company that is setting towers for these companies. They're all going to feel shortchanged.
Well, you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs, as they say. They can get number mobility. The numbers won't change. They can change to other companies. But they should know that when these things happen where a great deal of arbitrariness takes place in making of policy, a lot of loot takes place, a lot of people get lots of money. I think I would say that if these foreign companies who are hurt, if they want to get a favorable attitude in the future of the future government, they should tell us who they paid the bribes to and where did they pay them and which bank abroad.
Okay, Mr. Swamy, let me pick up the point at the moment that sort of come through after today's particular sort of decision by the Supreme Court. The question is, what happens next, given that we're looking at the government plea being admitted? We're talking of April 13th as deadline. Do you think it certainly has still got scope or a window of opportunity for things to be worked out at some level?
Well, I saw the spin which the government gave and which you have recycled in this program in the beginning. This is not any great victory for the government. There is a question because this is a petition dealing with spectrum as a natural resource. And it's a fair question whether this applies to every other natural resource. Frankly speaking, it does in a sense that if supposing tomorrow, say oil, the same thing happens, any petitioner, public interest litigant can go to court and say, like in the spectrum case, the same principles apply here and get an order. So I think the Supreme Court was being wise in taking on record this review petition. They have not accepted the government point of view. In fact, they'll have to send me a notice now. The Supreme Court, Supreme Court must have directed them to send me a notice, and I'll certainly go and argue that the principles do apply, and there should be a clarificative statement from the Supreme Court that this was on basis of general principles, and future any natural resource has to be auctioned. This first come first serve principle should only be for cinema tickets and not for any natural resources.
Okay. Okay, only for cinema tickets, not for natural resources. We're talking of the telecom sector, which has faced a big blow, and this was something that was on expected lines, but it seems to have been extremely clear after the Supreme Court's decision to dismiss those pleas.